ashver.com.
Hello, welcome to ashver.com. You are watching interesting video on eternal life. Practice the ancient exercise mentioned in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Please read the disclaimer carefully. Aging is still a mystery. Science still hasn't grasped what aging exactly is. Probably science will never discover what aging exactly is, because it isn't possible to fully define this from the point of view of Flatland. Aging is, according to my understanding, related to the development of consciousness through body. My understanding related to the development of consciousness through body and mind, while consciousness is not so easy to measure in a scientific way. A soul cannot stay endlessly in a body where the ego resists to connect with the divine. The result of this resistance is faster aging and death before 100, while ironically the ego is terrified of dying. This is my view on the process of aging, because aging is mainly an inner mechanism instead of mainly an outer mechanism. Bad food and pollution can fasten aging, but are, according to my view, not the main causes of aging, although I realize I'm just one of the many with again a theory. I'm very interested in other theories, of course, so please leave your own theory below in the comments section. The Emerald Tablets mentions a practice that no one really seems to understand to the full extent, as well as many other passages by the way. This practice is to slow, stop or even reverse aging, of the intensity and duration of the exercises. After practicing and experimenting nearly 1,000 times I must say we unraveled how to practice this deceptive simple exercise, without making it unnecessarily complicated. By the way, the fun of the Emerald Tablets is very tough to understand, but becomes so much easier to digest if you start reading it simultaneously with the secret book of John found in the Gnostic Bible, starting at page 138, and the holy science of Sri Yukteswar, and practice the exercises that increases your general awareness. In this way you're able to understand this tough ancient work much easier. Remember one thing when you're reading the tablets, it's all about your own inner world that is a tiny but exact copy of the huge universe. And don't forget that once you understand them, the fool speaks, while the wise man is silent. Guard the secrets you discovered for yourself. One who understands these ancient wisdoms never scatters them around, otherwise it will be taken from you by the law of cause and effect. The major key of gaining enough consciousness and to become one with the soul is age. Like a seed has to find its way up the light out of the darkness of the soul, humans also have to find their way up to the light and not remain to stay in the soil, which in our case is matter, money and success. It takes a mad amount of time to outgrow the ignorance and maya, at least 100 years. So, it requires to become far above 100, in good health, to become fully aware of and in contact with your own soul. But who becomes a centenarian? Globally only 0.006% of the population reaches above 100, but in what condition? Japan holds still the world record of having relatively the most centenarians, to be around 0.03%, that's 5 times more than the world's average. Possibly this could be the result of the consumption of much seaweed and fish in relation to sticking to old traditions despite the highly developed technocratic culture. Japan is also a country of mysticism and ancient traditions. Isn't it that the consumption of specific food, like the Japanese do, only lengthens one's lifetime just with an insignificant fraction? Once above 100, most centenarians aren't able to walk anymore without devices or aids. Does it really matter to extend a lifetime with just a few decades if it doesn't serve finding your own soul? What does it change? If food and fresh air would be the key matter to become old, there wouldn't be anything else besides good nutrition and fresh air to become old, and this is illogical because according to science it's food that takes a major part in the process of aging. So, it seems to become a Gordian knot if you approach this issue from this point of view. But if age would be something that comes from within, you cannot stop this by doing something from the outside, because the source of aging, the conviction of aging and dying in time, comes from within. It's fully logical that the secret of getting old comes from within, and this is where the mysterious exercise of Thoth starts. doing the exercises that Thoth narrated to us, it's important to live a healthy life, inter alia. The best food, physical exercise, meditation, or at least achieving a state of mental calmness of at least 1 hour a day. No alcohol. No smoking. No smoking. No meat. Meat pulls your awareness down like a millstone. No medication, if possible. Pure water. Give love and happiness. Show compassion to others. Fresh air. Being in nature daily, to communicate with animals and plants in a way you feel best. Remember that they're living creations too and can communicate with you through feelings. By now you must probably think I'm crazy. No stress. What is the purpose of the exercises? The exercises are initially meant to prolong life and to stay in good health. The developing consciousness takes so much time, that it is unlikely for the majority to outgrow the ignorance before the usual age of dying. Becoming very old gives a chance to gain wisdom and to fulfill your task on earth. According to Thoth, you will continuously recycle until your task is fulfilled on earth. Why does nearly nobody exercises them and or writes about them? If they give eternal life, or at least when you're finished, and good health? I can only guess, but it is still strange. The facts are that the exercises are lying at everyone's feet, openly mentioned in the tablets everywhere freely to download. I can only think of one reason, because no one seems to have practiced them in the proper way over a longer period and explaining them thoroughly. It is unbelievable, but when I look at the facts I must conclude this appears to be the truth. There can be many reasons to practice the exercises. To connect with your inner divinity. To gain consciousness. To learn to be. To heal diseases. To increase health. To prolong life. To come in deep. About the sacred practice of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. There are a few people that share their experiences on the internet. You can look here to the experiences of Simona Rich, who practiced the exercises and wrote down her experiences. The experiences of other people who commented in the blog below the article, as well as the author's experiences, imply that the exercise may be performed in a slightly forced way, witnessing the small aches they had after performing the exercise. Nevertheless, it appears that Mrs. Rich understands the basics of this practice very well. I named these exercises before going to sleep, always directly after waking up. Somehow it never seemed logical to me to perform them before sleeping, for they give you energy. Remember also that the main key of this exercise is about effortlessness and concentration. Mr. Scott Travers seems to have a lot of experience in the exercises and writ, but makes, in my opinion, the practice too complicated. Unfortunately, the practice becomes simply impossible to perform, due to all the fuzz around it, and lost slightly what the exercises are about in its essence. I have a few remarks in the way that Mr. Travers presents his knowledge. I quote from the website: incorrectly performing the exercises can lead to health problems, but doing them correctly leaves the body feeling refreshed and revitalized, with aches and pains disappearing immediately after the exercise. Where do you take the knowledge for doing the exercises correctly? Of course, you must buy a book for this. This is not how Thoth meant it to be. Never scare people for something and offer at the same time something to buy that can resolve their fear. The advice that you can do the exercise properly in 1/2 an hour altogether must be a mistake. You first have to go in deep relaxation before starting the actual exercise. If you have no time, don't do them at all. As far as I know, Mr. Travers doesn't mention how to use the chakras in the exercises, that are an essential part of the exercise. This made me suspicious about his actual knowledge. When you focus on the chakras, you can experience and feel everything you need in the exercises. Everything you require already resides in you. The exercises aren't explained, or perhaps not well understood, in the correct way. The center of the exercises is the heart chakra, also called Anahata. The practice that is derived from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth Looks pretty straightforward, but it's amazingly difficult to develop the right feeling in your body, simply because it lacks every technique and therefore depends on the subtle feelings you can generate and experience in your body. This is perhaps the reason of the many misinterpretations that are circling around on the internet. Together with a very experienced teacher, with more than 35 years of experience in many different meditation techniques, we developed this practice with the information from the tablets back to its essence. It's amazingly simple, once you know it. The rest is up to your forbidden grounds. It is strictly forbidden to explain the sacred works to others, although many people still try to do this. With this article I am already pushing against the limits. Everyone has to acquire the sacred knowledge by themselves. Fully understanding the emerald tablets means you're holding the key of the universe that also resides in yourself. The reason why it is forbidden: if one isn't able to grasp the knowledge by themselves, one is not ready to comprehend it, to understand it, to feel it inside and to live by, it will cause therefore inner chaos. Chaos is also a form of darkness. Too many sources try to explain the sacred texts, which is wrong. Thoth warns explicitly for this. So, if you're too lazy or have too less backbone to study it by yourself, you're simply not ready for it. Nevertheless, is the practice possible once you learn it how to locate your chakra. It'll raise your consciousness, which makes it easier to understand the essence of the divine design. Why I'm sharing this knowledge if it's forbidden? Well, I think explaining the details of the exercise isn't forbidden knowledge. The exercises give you an incredible boost in consciousness, health, energy, mental power and physical energy, and makes it much easier for you to understand what the tablets mean. It would be a crime not to share this knowledge for free. First step: practice Yoga Nidra. To understand the basics of the sacred exercises of Thoth, you can first start practicing Yoga Nidra, also called the yogi sleep, a simple but powerful way to relax without any techniques. Deep relaxation while staying awake is essential for Thoth's exercises. I must give a small warning when you're going to browse on the internet. Despite all the courses and trainings, remember that the goal of every meditation technique is to become finally in a state of full relaxation and in a nearly breathless state without any effort or strain. This is already difficult enough. The other major challenge of Yoga Nidra is staying awake in full relaxation. The easiest way to do this is by keeping your eyes pointed upward towards your ajna, the third eye, because you will only fall asleep when your eyes are dropping down. Once you're becoming experienced in practicing Yoga Nidra for a day, you're ready for the next step, locating the chakras in your body. Second step: learn how to locate your chakras. In the period you're mastering Yoga Nidra, I advise you to learn locating your chakras, using the classic meditation posture. No matter if you believe in chakras or not, they're just there and will stay there as long as you live. The main issue is how you can learn to develop the feeling associated with locating your own chakra centers for doing Thoth's exercises. It is essential if you want to successfully practice the exercises of Thoth in the right way. Knowing how to find your chakra centers is essential to practice the Thoth exercises. I cannot learn you how you can locate your chakras in this article. It's something you have to learn by practicing under the guidance of a yoga teacher. It takes a few months of daily practice to exactly locate them all and how to learn to feel the subtle sweetness that comes with being in a chakra with your focus, in the right way. Make sure you take a real yoga teacher and preferably the best there is in your surrounding, because there are too many swindlers around. Perhaps you can rely on mouth-to-mouth advertising of others. And remember, yoga is not doing all kind of tricks with putting your legs in your neck or bending your knees sideways. This is the primitive ego spirituality. It's about mediation and the meditation only, the rest is a sideshow. I guess yoga teacher has his own ways of learning you how to locate and how to switch on your chakra. The best yoga teachers will probably involve you in certain spiritual practices that doesn't seem to belong to yoga, but since yoga is a spiritual practice, it just comes with it. I advise not to resist this. It comes with the teachings. You can always choose to walk your own path once you've become an experienced practitioner. The mantra sounds that belong to every chakra, from root, Muladhara, up to the crown chakra, Sahasrara, Alam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Sham and Om. Together with the correct hand postures, mudras, these are very good exercises to locate your chakras also. Do not endlessly repeat the mantra, just do it 3 to 5 times with all your attention on the right chakra. You can experience a slightly cool sensation around the chakra when you're focusing on it together with the sounds and hand postures. This knowledge can help too. You can also check out this website that contains helpful and correct information. Misconceptions: balancing your chakras. One of the largest misconceptions is that you have to balance your chakras before doing the exercises of Thoth. The exercises are meant not only to re-establish the vitality and health in your body and mind, but also to balance your chakras, or perhaps it's even vice versa. By the way, the expression balancing chakras means that you're trying to open your chakras as equally as possible, because due to stored emotions some of might be stuck. According to yogis, this can be done by burning your karma, which can cause certain emotional stages during this process. Altogether it's still pretty effortless, and this is how life is meant to be. There is much information available on the internet about balancing chakras, together with all kinds of tests that show you where you're stuck in one of your chakras. Well, it's plain nonsense. You cannot find weak chakras by doing an internet test. Only an experienced yogi master is able to explain you which of the chakras aren't functioning well. Better spend your time to practice the Yoga Nidra and to locate your chakras by getting aware of them through feeling, to make yourself ready for Thoth's exercise. You should be aware of the emotions and feelings that may come loose with abdominal breathing and during meditation on chakras. It can be pretty scary, since all your unresolved emotions are stored in your chakras and mostly in the exercises of Thoth. The preparations. Make sure your bed, or mattress, is exactly aligned to the magnetic north-south. When you're determining the North Pole with a compass, make sure there are no ferrometals around that disturb your measurements. Cross-check your measurements with sunrise or sunset and or around that disturb your measurements. Cross-check your measurements with sunrise or sunset and or if you can locate your building or street on Google Maps, and check the direction of your bed in alignment with the walls in your building or home. The most perfect situation is that you install your bed permanently in the north-south direction, threshold to practice as low as possible. You'll notice you'll sleep also calmer and better when sleeping in line with the magnetic field lines of the earth. Put a clock beside your bed, with an alarm. Thoth advises to practice 2 times 1 hour, that I call the outbound and inbound trip. I advise to start the outbound trip, head to north, with 25 to 35 minutes and the inbound trip with 20 to 30 minutes. The outbound trip takes longer because it involves the process of becoming in full relaxation. The exercise, the outbound trip. Do exactly as Thoth describes in the tablets. Start lying with your head pointed to the magnetic north. Some of the things that Thoth didn't mention are probably regarded as basic knowledge. Put your arms beside you, preferably with the palms of your hands upward, because the touch of the fingertips on the surface of the bed can cause too much sensation and activity once you're in deep relaxation. Raise your eyes slightly upward towards your ajna, third eye, otherwise the chance you'll fall asleep, once in total relaxation, is 99% sure, especially the first period. Keep your eyes there, fully concentrated on your body and feel how your body is relaxing. With every deeper relaxation you may start to experience tingling sensations all over your body. These are usual sensations of Yoga Nidra. If you're unlucky that your teacher learned you to use continuously abdominal breathing when you're in Yoga Nidra, you'll have to unlearn. It'll cause too much tensions in your body for the Thoth exercises. Simply relax totally, doing absolutely nothing. Do not control your breathing in any way. When you feel ready, locate and switch on your Anahata, heart chakra. and concentrate it to radiate light upward to your next chakra, the Vishuddha, in the direction of your head, but do not deliberately exceed your Vishuddha while radiating from your Anahata, before you filled your whole upper torso, arms and hands with light. You'll notice the sweet subtle sensations of the energy going upward through the upper part of your torso. Only then, if radiating further feels good, do not force yourself stopping at your Vishuddha. Your body between the Anahata and the Vishuddha, or further, is totally filled with light, or consciousness, before continuing to the next step, continuing radiating from the Vishuddha. When you feel satisfied in your upper torso, arms and hands, continue doing the same from your Vishuddha to your Ajna, and from your Ajna to your Sahasrara, and from your Sahasrara into space. During this trip upward you'll feel it tingling all over your body, head, hands, down to your feet. Just let this happen, but keep your focus strictly on the chakra where you're currently in. It is possible that time's up before you reach your crown chakra, but it's best to finish the practice and forget about time in this case. The same counts when you're convinced being finished before time's up, but I think this is highly unlikely. If you practice these exercises well, time stops to exist. The exercise. The inbound trip. After finishing the outbound trip that ended at your crown chakra, you can stay in this position as long as it feels comfortable, but do not exceed 1 hour. To make the inbound trip, you'll have to turn 180 degrees in your bed, put it where your head was before. Start again to locate and switch on your Anahata, heart chakra, and concentrate it to radiate light downward to your next lower chakra, the Nidra or solar plexus. This is where the ego resides according to the ancient teachings and is a very powerful and active chakra. In Manika will block energy flow. You can visualize a mirror above your chakra, so it radiates downwards. You'll notice the sweet subtle sensations of the energy going downward through the lower part of your torso and your tummy. Fill your lower torso and tummy as far as it feels good, but don't forget that there are more chakras to be done, besides the Anahata. When you feel satisfied, continue doing the same from your Manipura to your Svadhisthana and from your Svadhisthana to your Muladhara. During this trip downward you can feel it perhaps tingling everywhere. Just let this happen, but keep your focus strictly on the chakra where you're currently in. The Muladhara chakra, root, is probably the chakra that requires the most attention in the first period. It is your root and your lightning rod. This chakra serves your body from your tailbone down to your feet and serves therefore an important part of your body, where many joint problems may occur. Pay much attention to this part of the exercise, it will make you feel good and strong. Staying awake in total relaxation is the clue, as thoughtless as possible, mainly concentrating on your exercise and perceive the sensations in your body, doing nothing in all effortlessness, while gaining your health back is something that we, Westerners, cannot understand. We learned that nothing comes by itself, you'll have to learn to bathe in abundance. You don't have to do the outbound trip and inbound trip in sequence, but you must do them on one day. The clue of the exercises is that they start from the heart chakra, a chakra. This is the most important part of the exercise. Tip 1. If you keep having troubles with finding your chakras, I found out another powerful way to replace this with another technique. Imagine that your body is liquefied, floating above your bed. Imagine you put a very fine sieve at your heart chakra to start with. Let it stay there until you're totally relaxed, but feel it's present there, a beautiful shiny sieve made of light. Try to move the sieve after a while towards the next chakra. At the moment you do this rightly, you can gasp for breath as if you jump in cold water and you start to feel enormous sensations. Try to finish moving this divine sieve during the extend to the last chakra. It can take quite a while before it drain through your body. Some chakras are hard to pass by in this way. Tip 2. Witnessing your own physiognomy while practicing the exercises of Thoth give an indication of the effortlessness of your exercise. If you're aware of your own tensed facial expression, it means that you're not effortless busy. Just be aware of this, so you can go back consciously to a state of effortlessness. Tip 3. Keep the time of the outbound and inbound trip as equal as possible. You can make the outbound trip slightly longer, because it also contains the time to become in full relaxation. Tip 4. In most of the cases it is already hard enough to fill your body part between the two chakras with light, especially during the first weeks of your practice. If you notice that one of your chakras is much stronger than the others and radiates much further, do not utilize this too much and try to focus your attention more on the other chakras that are weaker. After a longer time you'll notice that all your chakras become stronger and are able to radiate up to your crown chakra or root chakra, or even feet. When you're able to do this with all the chakras, you develop them all equally and you will be able. My own experience. What did I witness myself during this last year? 1. We practiced the exercises of Thoth that are mentioned in the Emerald Tablets. It was very spectacular. That's why I decided to share this with the world. Some of the things are pretty private, but I'll mention all the things I noticed. And if I notice other new experiences, I'll update them here. I am currently 49 and started to develop arthritis in the upper joints of my fingertips of my right hand, especially the middle and ring finger. When I carried bags for a longer time, and tried to stretch my hands after putting the bags down, my fingers were terribly painful and it became rapidly worse 1 year ago. This is something that totally disappeared, just a few days after I, finally, fully mastered the practice, so, amazingly quickly. I witnessed that my joints became more flexible and I'm even able to bend and stretch them like I am 25 again. For this I am already very, very grateful. But there is more. When I was 15, I had a ski accident where I damaged my left knee. About 20 years ago an orthopedic surgeon wanted to remove my meniscus, but I never allowed it. In these years I did pretty well in sports with my knee, but it snapped regularly as if it was nearly about to lock. Sometimes my knee really ached. This totally disappeared too. My knees feels like reborn. In my right hip I had often an unidentified pain already for 2.5 years, that became worse directly after doing exercises for the legs in the gym. I was afraid that perhaps my hip was starting to wear out. This became much less, but didn't disappear yet. I predict it will be totally gone in a few months, while I think this would have become worse without doing Thoth's exercises. I see it as swimming upstream. I had slightly damaged kidneys, because I nearly suffered from dehydration after being lost in the forest for 3 days, in tropical temperatures. This damaged kidneys hunted me every time I didn't drink continuously water to keep the urine flowing. This is also totally gone. I can stay easily without water for a longer time, without problems again. Because of my age I had an enlarged prostate, that was easy to watch every time I had to urinate. The flow really dropped significantly. Especially the ending of the peeing became so much easier, without after dripping, and I witness it's getting increasingly better, but slowly, every day. After going to the gym, I always had to take a cold shower not to catch a cold when walking outside from a sweaty body and head. This totally disappeared also. I didn't catch anything anymore during the practice of the exercises. An immense raised consciousness, but how to measure this? My IQ and X seems to be raised immensely when looking to my heart experiences the last months. Also my family and friends are pretty amazed at my intellectual achievements, while they don't know I'm doing these exercises, thanks to my pseudonym. I look generally younger and amazingly relaxed when I look in the mirror. My skin seems to be more smooth. Regarding all the visible effects, it gives a clue what is happening under the hood. I feel much better, in general. Why and how this technique works, I can only make an educated guess. It has something to do with harmonizing yourself with planet Earth through the magnetic field lines. Perhaps most important thing of all, I start to understand what the Emerald Tablets are about. It is definitely beyond words, so trying to explain this is foolish and also forbidden, not of course by government laws. I hope that with the other works, Gnostic Bible and Holy Science that I provided in this article, I will be able to help other people on their way to their own divinity, good health and a longer happy life. The exercises are mainly responsible for this. They hold the key to the universe. So, it's pretty amazing, these exercises of Thoth, and amazingly simple and easy to do when you know how to do them. I now practice them every day, directly after waking up, and only 2 times 30 minutes. I want to increase this to 2 times 60 minutes, but I'll raise this increasingly, because it takes so much time. But what is time if your health and a long life is at stake? To be honest, I became a little anxious what it will do to me as I do the full practice. It's probably my ego that's slightly anxious. Will I become very old by daily practicing this exercise? Based upon the disappearance of the list of aches, it seems to be very likely. I will try to remember to write another hub when I'll become 149. Smile. It seems that a few things that Scott Rovers mentions in his book can be true. I didn't examine this as deep as Mr. Rovers, nevertheless I kept an extensive diary of the daily practice. The most clear relation I discovered is that on cloudy, rainy days the exercises are less effective as on. Thank you for watching this video. This channel offers motivational, inspirational, valuable and informative videos to soothe, cleanse and inspire your health, mind, body and spirit. You can find lot of interesting videos on wide range of topics here. Stay tuned and keep watching.